Development Today, as you always know, is a program specially designed for NGOs, CSOs, and other people groups that execute projects and programs that impacts lives of people positively. The show comprises 3 key segments. Of course, Development News will tell you the latest. If there's any special day, international day during the week, this is where you get to know. And of course, we always bring up issues, social issues that affect people everywhere they are, and then we bring in experts, persons, NGOs, CSOs who have projects in that direction to treat that particular issue. Of course, in the studio today, I have wonderful guests in the studio. We'll be talking about 2 key burning issues, social issues that affects you, affects someone you know from somewhere, and we will be providing solutions to these particular issues. So please don't go nowhere. Stick with us and let's develop together. Of course, you listen to your number 1 business radio in Nigeria, Impact Business Radio 92.5 FM. And of course, the voice you're listening to is Oladayo Ogunbowale, and it's Africa's number uno development program radio, Development Today. During the week, Professor Isiaq Oloyede led Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board started the 2019 UTME. All across the country, CBT centers, computer-based test centers that have been, according to JAMB, accredited, checked out, and they decided to be fit to hold the exams, started getting candidates from all over. Early this morning, I received messages, not 1, not 2, not 3, from aggrieved candidates and their family members. Some, their words never got to write the exam. Some wrote the exam 10 minutes into the exam. And of course, if you do JAMB, every minute, every second counts. What's the way forward? Are we not yet ripe enough for engaging technology in our academics, in the academia now, for example, or in ensuring that we leverage technology as Professor Isiaq Oloyede has brought to bear in our examinations? Should we go back to the old days of paper and pen? Can we do better with technology in examinations? I want to assure you, if you know someone who's writing this year's UTME, or you know someone who was aggrieved, or you know someone who's still going to be writing it next week, because I understand it's going to be for 1 week, started this Thursday, and it's going to extend through next week. Call them now. We're going to be treating this particular issue now. Don't go nowhere. It's Development Today on IBR 92.5 FM. Yes, it's Development Today right here on Impact Business Radio 92.5 FM. I have in the studio volunteers with Onelife Initiative for Human Development, and one of them actually wrote UTME. Elizabeth Olowoyo. Is Olowoyo now?
Yes.
Okay, Olowoyo is in the studio with me. Elizabeth, say hi to people at home.
Good evening, everybody. Just like you said, my name is Elizabeth, and I'm happy to be here.
All right, thank you, Elizabeth. You wrote your UTME when exactly?
Yesterday, April 12th.
Okay, brilliant. Where did you write your UTME?
UI.
You were hesitating. Is it inside UI or outside UI or around UI?
Inside UI. Adebayo Akonde Hall, West Midland, in UI.
Okay, so you're endorsing those guys that are there now. All right, now, because I have like 3 different CBT centers that have been mentioned to have done very badly in handling students. How did your own examination go?
Like, I would say maybe because it's my center, like everything went fine. I don't know.
Because it's your center, like you're a special person, like.
No,
is it a special center?
No, I don't. Like when I first got there, I was surprised. Like everything was set. Like we were already there, and when it was around, the time was 7 a.m.
Okay.
So they were still doing some processing when I got there, and when we were about to start, the invigilators gave us some tips. Even though some of us doesn't know how to handle the computer, but some things that were given to us, it really built most of us our confidence. So those that had issues with it before we started, informed them, so they were able to take notes and adjust everything before we started. So it went well, it went fine.
All right, I'll come back to you. Now, I have this message from an anonymous person out there. He or she sent this, that at a particular CBT center, not too far from where we're talking right now, all the students scheduled to write the exam at 1 p.m. was unable to complete the exams after 10 minutes that they logged in. Now, it said the generator developed fault and the center was unable to fix the problem. The generator was later fixed after 2 hours, but all the system failed to switch on. Major challenge with that particular center. Now, he said this is a personal experience. I left the center 8:10 p.m. I wonder what exam people are writing at 8:10 p.m. Okay, he said with ease or unease, and said the computer system allocated to her on the exam slip was C38. I think that's computer 38, right? Most likely. Said it was changed to computer 39 because the system suddenly switched off. Now, the person allocated to computer 39 did not show up. He said, please help. What is the fate of the students? Now, this is one of the messages I received. They allocated a particular computer to you, right? That's computer what? At your own center. Can you remember? But you had
218.
218?
Yes.
Okay, now, and you used that particular computer?
Yes, I did.
Was it labeled?
The label was on the seat.
Okay, so you got to know that was your own computer.
Yes.
Now, did they talk about anybody using someone else's computer?
I got to a stage, someone's computer was faulty.
Okay.
So they have to change the seat. So he or she has to use
another one. And there was no challenge with it.
No.
Now, I asked that question to address the person's fear that, see, if they have to change your computer within the same center, there should be no challenge. I think we're on the same page here. And we're trying to come up with solutions, ways by which anyone who is still going to be writing this exam can do well. And that question will go to you. What were the things you did that helped you write your exam without stress? Now, let me start with the ones you said earlier, which I have also heard from people. That at every center, there's this crash course that they give to everyone, every candidate, before the exam starts. I think that happened at your center too.
Yes.
So, whoever will be taking a student, or if you are the one, you are old enough, you want to go to the CBT center by yourself, ensure that you request that someone who understands computer, not just somebody who is coming to invigilate or investigate or do whatever there, that someone tells you what to do with the computers, what to press, when to start, and how to go about it. I think that's in order, right?
Yes, yes.
That is what they did for you in UI.
Yes, yes.
So if you have a word or your child is going to write the UTME, probably on Monday now, ensure you demand that in that particular CBT, that they give them a crash course on what to do inside the hall. When you sit before your computer, this is what you should press, this is how you should press it, and this is how to submit your exam. So very, very important. Now, aside all this, what are things that you did in that particular center? Just walk us through the procedure from where you sat and how you went through it.
Like they always say, before you get to your center or do anything, you need to get there before time.
Very early, like how long? 30 minutes, 1 hour?
If possible. Because during my time, there are some
if
that
possible, an hour.
Yes.
Brilliant.
There's some people that are coming from other states, and you definitely meet a lot of people there.
Good.
So please keep to time. And secondly, speak up. If your laptop is trying to work improperly or is not coming up well, don't say like I'm going to manage it. You may not know, at some points it can just go off. Anything can happen. So before you start the exam, please talk to somebody. In case you don't know how to, or don't start before you start panicking on what to do and what not to do. So try to speak up and find out what you ought to do and what you're not supposed to do. It will really help you. Remember, like he said, every second counts. You can't just spend minutes, hours panicking. So let someone tell you what to do so that you can make use of the 2 hours that's allocated for you.
Reminds me of days when it was just paper and pen, and you and me then was like a race against time. You blink, you miss. It was that serious. But then we expect CBTs, computer-based tests, to be easier. In the millennia, everybody is using a computer. Your phones are computers. But I like the suggestion you made that every candidate should ensure they speak up. Don't die in silence. Your laptop screen is off and you're trying to manage it. Manage what? Your time is counting and wasting. All right. So now, how about submission? Let's leave the beginning part. When you're done, how do you submit? How do you do that? Let's paint a picture for someone out there.
Okay, when you're done with everything, of course, you cross-check if you have the time. And if you are almost done and you are done, there's a submit button on the screen. You can click on it. When I click on mine, it was still showing my details. It was still showing my information. So I have to inform one of the invigilators. They said I should leave it that way. So make sure you are submitting rightly. So if you find out you've submitted and maybe the exam is still on, you can just inform someone. So there's a submit button, like I said. You can just click on it. It will automatically submit. But it could also bring a button like, do you really want to submit or you want to go back? So if you want to submit, then you can click on the submit. And if you want to go back and continue the exam or cross-check, then you can go back. So that's just it.
All right, brilliant. Well, I think we've done justice. When we open the phone lines and people get to contribute, most likely there might be someone who might have some questions for you. But then, of course, you're going nowhere. We're going to short break. When we're back, we'll treat one very key issue that affects every girl child out there. Don't go nowhere.
Yeah, go. I pull up her mother's eyes, she be trophy daughter. Mommy raised her, daddy never dropped a dollar. Daddy ran away, didn't wanna have a child. Mommy wasn't ready, still remember how she cried. But time flies, all I want is in the past life. Cholati my short, but body to the large size. She just collect law degree for Unilag. First class in the back, make her mommy to the brag. She went to be an intern for her uncle, just a little hustle before she go to law school. My daughter, the Lord will be your muscle. Omo Jesus, mommy knows she love the gospel. But Uncle Peter Agbaya, I like me teach you. One late night became wild in the sitting room. Uncle, please stop, shh, be silent. Uncle didn't stop till he broke the hymen. Am I a fool? I don't go astray. Am I a victim of my circumstance? I'm a Lua biti bossa waye, and now I'm feeling like I don't lost my way. Am I a fool? I don't go astray. Am I a victim of my circumstance? I'm a Lua biti bossa waye, and now I'm feeling like I don't lost my way. I be child of the world. I don't become a child of the world. I be child of the world. I don't become a child of the world. I be child of the world. I don't become a child of the world. I be child of the world. I don't become a child of the world. Yeah, she don't they look for that thing she did resist before. She never had a daddy figure, so she need the love. Uncle Peter don't create the beast, he can't tame the stuff. She like make you rough, she can't have enough. She met some ladies where go like rub shoulder on some quick business with a high turnover. Say if you ride stick, you go ride Range Rover. Aristo PLC, say you want be stakeholder. Now it's sugar daddy loving every day, she know they get the pay. If you get the dollar, spend the cake, no they negotiate. shit. She's in deep, her whole life on the terrorist. Many bellas she don't get, she don't terminate. Queen runs scared, she don't get any competition. Go me no senator, she's giving every politician. Somebody tell them, say the consequences, no they likely. Until she tested positive to HIV. Am I a fool? She I don't go astray. Am I a victim of my circumstance? I'm a lua bitty boss and now I'm feeling like I don't lost my way. Am I a fool? She I don't go astray. Am I a victim of my circumstance?
Alright, it's still IBR 92.5 FM. I know you're shaking your head. You like that track. That's Falls the Bad Guy with Child of the World. And you can begin to guess what we will be discussing next. Girl child education. Girls' education transforms lives, communities, and countries. Yet more than 130 million girls are unable to go to school. Girls around the world are standing up in support of their out-of-school sisters and fighting to see every girl complete 12 years of free, safe, quality education. Now, by taking action in the communities, girls can contribute to the peace and prosperity of our entire world. Have you ever wanted to change something but you just didn't know where or how to begin? This is what we shall be doing today. I have in the studio with me, of course, Elizabeth that just spoke is from that same organization and she's still here. If time permits, of course, she will contribute again. I have right here with me in the studio, of course, that makes three of them, three wonderful ladies. Esther Opotum, I will pronounce that correctly. Of course, Elizabeth Olowoyo is still here. And Tamilore Omojola. Can you please say hi to people at home?
Hi guys, this is Tamilore Omojola. I'm glad, I'm happy to be here.
Alright, it's Esther.
Hi everyone, I'm Esther Opotum.
Alright, these three wonderful ladies are from Onelife Initiative for Human Development. Now, you guys had a project recently. In fact, it was after you were done that I got to know that, so Onelife is doing something. Onelife is a friend of the house. But then, because let me say I'm comfortable with ladies. Of course, my mother is a woman. My sister is a lady. My wife is one. And my daughter is another. So why wouldn't I like ladies? Yes. What's GAG all about? GAG. Esther.
Okay. GAG Dissemination Project. It's actually Girls Advocacy Guide Dissemination.
Okay.
It's what we are doing basically is we're providing tools to train and to help girls raise their voice. We're actually helping them amplify their voices around the world. So it's supported by Malala Fund and is actually carried out here in Nigeria by Youth Hub Africa, while Onelife Initiative for Human Development is carrying it out here in Oyo State. So what we are doing is we are raising voices of girls. We are training people on how to take action, and we're also providing information that people need to create a change in our society today, especially around girls' education.
Brilliant. And you know, when people hear Malala Fund, they're like, oh boy, money is involved. Let me tell them short, quick history about Malala Yousafzai. Malala Yousafzai started out as an ordinary girl. She lived with her family in Swat Valley, Pakistan. She teased her little brothers, had fun with her friends, and enjoyed learning at school. But things started to change when Taliban militants took control of Swat, a small village. They banned many things, like owning a television, playing music, and even girls going to school. Yes, they banned girls from going to school in Swat Valley, Pakistan. Although Malala and her friends could no longer openly work with their books, they refused to give up on their education. Now, Malala's family supported her decision to continue her studies in secret and to share her story. Malala began writing anonymously about life under Taliban control for the BBC, an international news organization. Malala started speaking out publicly about the importance of education. Even though she knew there were risks involved, she believed staying silent would be far worse. Now, in response to a rising popularity and national recognition, the Taliban decided to target her, even though she was only 15 years old as at then. On the 9th of October 2012, a gunman shot Malala on her way from school in the head. She was in critical condition and had to be transported abroad for treatment. Our attackers believed the bullet would silence her. That's their thought. But Malala miraculously survived, and their actions only made her voice grow louder. Malala continued to use her voice to fight for every girl's right to 12 years of free, safe, quality education. And of course, news of her bravery inspired millions of people in Pakistan and around the world to join Malala in speaking out for girls' education. So you now know who Malala Yousafzai is. Eventually, she got a Nobel Peace Prize alongside one other lady. She received the Nobel Peace Prize in December 2014, and she is currently the youngest person in the history of the world to do so. So if you're wondering who Malala is, of course, not one billionaire somewhere, but one young girl who chose to stand for education against all odds, even in a terrorist-prone area like Pakistan, Swat Valley in Pakistan. It's just like a young girl in maybe somewhere in Chibok or Dabchi saying, I don't care whether they will come to kidnap us, I will go to school. That is exactly what Malala did. I'm going to come back to you, Esther, right now. You were talking about a project you did to ensure that young girls go to school and to make sure that there's a particular material document for people to talk about girls and to do some things. Did you have people participate in your own program here in Oyo State?
Okay, so we're supposed to actually reach out to at least 50 girls in Oyo State.
Okay.
And then disseminate the resource online and offline to other organizations that can also train young girls on how to
This training, is it money involved? Do people pay to
No,
get
they
trained?
do not. It's free.
And
totally
you're not paying
free.
them to get trained?
No, we are not paying
So
them.
there's no
to get
money
trained.
involved there. This is not business.
No, we are just training them. Right?
All right. Corporate responsibility. Please go ahead.
So we decided to have it split in two places so we can reach a wider audience. So we have 20 older advocates and then 30 younger advocates. We are actually, the program is still going on. We're not yet done with the project, but we've attended to the 20 older advocates.
When you say older advocates, what age range are you talking about?
Okay,
here?
the normal age range for dissemination was supposed to be between 13 to 23. But we felt having people from 13 to 23, there will be a disparity in their knowledge. So it will be easier for us to have, people from, say, 16 to 23 in a room and communicate on a different level than from people within 13 to, say, 16 years old. So we had these older people come into the room, talk about, and we talked around the book using the guide. The name of the guide is Raise Your Voice with Malala, a guide to taking action for girls' education. So we talked around the book. We had a lot of activities because looking at the book, there are a lot of activities. And then with that, we are expecting them to go out and also train other people. So the information is being replicated across Oyo State.
Okay, so how many people have been trained thus far now?
We were supposed to have 20 people, but we had just 15 people coming for the older advocates training.
All right, I'll come back to you. Education is a human right. Yeah, we need to understand that. And for everyone listening right now, time check is 4:30 p.m. on Impact Users Radio 92.5 FM. It's Africa's numero uno development program and radio development today. And I am Oladayo Ogunbowale. Yes, you're on the right dial and you're listening to the right program on the right radio. We're discussing girl-child education. And we're focusing right now on a particular project called GAG. You want to know what that is? I will not tell you. But of course, people that will explain better are right here in the studio. I have from Onelife Initiative, Esther Putum. Elizabeth has been talking to us about UTME earlier. She's still here. And of course, Tamilore Omojola. I was saying education is a human right. Every single one of us is a human being. Of course, there's no Voltron here. Or humanoid. We're all humans. Which means that every single one of us has human rights. That every person on our planet, no matter where you live or how much money your family has or whether you're male or female, has the same set of human rights. Now, this includes the right to be treated equally, the right to be free from violence, and the right to education. SDG goal 4 right there. Tamilore Omojola, what's your opinion currently? Education in Nigeria today, and I'm not saying generally, I mean girl-child education. Don't go too far. we'll be discussing here in your state. What's your opinion? Is it okay? Are we having enough girls in school, or can we encourage more? Or do you have examples around that you can talk about, or probably instances, situations in the current project that you're running? I know we'll eventually end up with Elizabeth pretty soon, but what's your opinion?
Okay. I feel like we still need to encourage more girls to go to school or to get an education, because a lot of people, once they're done with the lower level of school, that's primary school, they choose, or circumstances make them to not complete their 12 free and then save.
You know I like that, your choice of word. They choose, or circumstances make them.
Yeah, because I cannot.
Yeah, that's brilliant, because there are a lot of things that happens day in, day out. You see a girl who's been going to school, suddenly she stops going to school. Circumstances has made her stop her education. Please go ahead.
Okay, so everyone has the right to education. Everyone has the right to 12 years of free, safe, and quality education in the world. But then I don't think we are practicing that in Nigeria actually yet, not to talk of your state. But then we're practicing other things like giving free food. Or even when you say you have free education, you are still getting stipends from the students, which some people can't even afford.
I always ask, how free is free education? Please go ahead.
Okay, so our free Nigeria it can be on different faces, not the regular free. So I feel we still need a lot more of encouragement for the girl child. Encouragement,
you mean from government, or?
Not necessarily from government.
Okay.
Basically, the change is meant to start with us.
Okay, so who should be encouraged now?
Okay, everybody's meant to be encouraged, both the parents, and then probably, if the parents are encouraged, I feel somehow one way to get to the government and then the leaders. Brilliant. You know, the Convention of the Rights of the Child, CRC, is a legally binding treaty that obligates governments to guarantee special protections for the full range of human rights for children and young people under the age of 18. Now, the convention includes that all children have the right to education. All governments have ratified, which means they've agreed to implement this convention, apart from the US. But of course, you know, the US, they are fine. You know, to a very large extent when it comes to that. I mean, for the first time, we had a woman contest for the presidency in that particular God's own country. We are pretty far from that here. So you can confidently say that they are pretty fine on that level. Coming back to you, Elizabeth Olowoyo, I understand you were a participant in one of the programs held by Onelife Initiative for Human Development. What was your experience like? Yes, you can go ahead. What was your experience like, Elizabeth? Yes.
So it was great. Like, I got to mingle with other people, and the most important thing, I think, we were there. The training took place on the platform of education. If not for education, we won't be gathering there in the first place. So we should know education has open doors for lots of opportunity. To me, I believe, and I make emphasis on it, that education is human right. Education should be given to every child despite their gender. Education is not boys' rights, it's not males' rights, it's human rights. So if we are humans which deserve education, so I enjoyed my experience there, let me say that way. And the main trainees was, afterward, we should be able to spread information to others. It's not just having the information, you should be able to spread it to others in your communities, in school, and be a champion to advocate for education.
Brilliant. Are there basic lessons you learned from that particular training?
Okay, yes. Firstly, I would say the story of Malala really encouraged me. Okay,
you were inspired.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, Malala had every reason to have overlooked that ordeal.
Okay.
Her father had a school. She would have just been going to school underneath, but she had this passion Ordinarily, she would have let it pass just like the other girls in her community. But she had that passion in her for girls' child education to the point of even risking her own life. So it takes passion. It takes girls' child education. We need to change people's orientation. There are some people that believe that educating a girl child is a waste of time, is a waste of money. So we need to change people's perspective so they can look deeper to the benefits a girl child could actually offer. So I learned that from that training.
Brilliant. Women in Nigeria have had various challenges in order to obtain equal education in all forms of formal education in Nigeria. Education is a basic human right. Elizabeth just mentioned that. And it has been recognized as such since the 1948 adoption of the Universal Declaration on Human Rights. Now, a positive correlation exists between the enrollment of girls in primary school and the gross national product, an increase of life expectancy. Now, because of this correlation, enrollment in schools represents the largest component of the investment in human capital in any society. Rapid socioeconomic development of a nation has been observed to depend on the caliber of women and their education in that country. Education bestows on women a disposition for a lifelong acquisition of knowledge, values, attitudes, competence, and skills. Now, to ensure equal access to education, the National Policy on Education states that access to education is a right for all Nigerian children, regardless of gender, religion, and disability. The show continues. Time check is 4:40 p.m. Destination time is 5 p.m. on Impact Business Radio 92.5 FM. It's Africa's numero uno development program and radio development today. I'll be taking a short break. When we're back, we'll bring it home. Don't go nowhere.
And now I'm feeling like I done lost my way. I'm a child of the world. I don't become a child of the world. I be child of the world. I don't become a child of the world. I be child of the world. I don't become a child of the world. I be child of the world. I don't become a child of the world. She promised not to disappoint, I guess she broke her vow. She let herself go, she let mommy down. But she go fight to defeat that depression. As long as she's alive, she can still find redemption. She's getting people sensitized about the virus. She's now hoping that her story might inspire us. Don't be like me, help me tell the young ones. Don't come to realize it after you're long gone. Please, don't be a fool now, don't go astray. Don't be a victim of your circumstance. Omoluabi, my boss, I didn't know when I lost my way. Please, don't be a fool, don't go astray. Don't be a victim of your circumstance. Omoluabi, my boss, please, I didn't know when I lost my way. I'm a child of the world. I just became a child of the world. I be child of the world. I don't become a child of the world. Child of the world. I just became a child of the world. Child of the world. I don't become a child of the world.
Of course, you're listening to Impact Business Radio 92.5 FM. For Larry Falano, falls the bad guy right there with Child of the World. I say I have my guests in the studio. Wonderful ladies here. Trio, Esther Opotum, Elizabeth Olowoyo, Tami Lore Omojula, all from Onelife Initiative for Human Development. And we're discussing girl child education, focusing on the girl child project that they have right now, GAG. We can gain peace. We can grow economies, we can improve on our public health and the air that we breathe. Or, of course, we can decide to lose another generation of girls. It's our choice. I'm a stickler for data, numbers anywhere I see them, so it grabs my attention. What's the state of girls' education? Now, despite the fact that every girl has the right to free, safe, quality education, more than 130 million girls around the world are out of school right now. Now, let's break the numbers down. 32 million girls between the ages of 6 and 11 are not in school. 98 million more girls are missing out on secondary education. 100 million girls in low and lower middle income countries cannot read at all. That's alarming. 32 million girls between the ages of 6 and 11 not in school. 98 million more girls missing out on secondary education. 100 million girls in low and lower middle income countries cannot even read at all. This is alarming. Coming back to you, Esther. Why are girls not in school?
Okay, and there are many reasons why girls are not in school.
Okay.
And it will be funny to you how some of these reasons are very...
Please, let's get them. Let's hear them.
Micro reasons you would never think about. So in the course of the training, I remember one of the reasons we identified was menstruation.
You can just imagine. That comes once a month.
Menstruation. But most girls are not in school because they face menstrual cramps and they're like, oh, I shouldn't go to school. So imagine that a girl doesn't go to school just because of menstrual cramps and she has... Okay, normally a girl's cycle days should be 5 days, and then so 5 days in a month. Just check that out in the whole year. So that's one of the micro reasons you would never think of. Okay, some major reasons here in Nigeria is poverty, and most people do not have the resource to send their children to school. But somehow I look at that as an excuse because based on the human Child Rights in Nigeria, Child Rights Act in Nigeria, there's we are supposed to be provided with completely free education. That's 9 years of completely free education. That's 6 years in primary school and 3 years in secondary school. So while we talked about free education not being so free, I think that if parents are more informed of where they can get their children to school for free and actually send these children to school, then they will be able to, we would have more children in school. So maybe instead of poverty, we have lack of information, ignorance. People do not really know that this kind of acts exist for them to send their children to school. Then we also have child marriage, especially in the north. People just want to...
You know what, Elizabeth, Esther, now, I'm going to have you hold your thoughts right there. I want to quickly do something briefly because I noticed we discussed the UTME issue, and there might be several homes where people are listening right now and they might have 1 or 2 questions, be it on the UTME issue or the GAG girls having rights to go to school. So I'm going to open the phone lines right away. We may not have time because we have a lot of content here to exhaust before the end of the program. If you call in, I will pick your call any moment from now. The lines to connect with the studio: 0815-192-5925. I'll take that again: 0815-192-5925. If that didn't get you in, you can try this: 0812-102-4846. 0812-102-4846. So you can connect with the studio, make your contributions. Or did you know someone who had a challenge with their UTME during the week? This is your opportunity to comment or to contribute on that particular issue. So we'll go back. I'll go back now to Esther. Of course, my eyes will be on the phone lines. If your call comes in, I'm going to pick it. But then we have a lot to discuss here. Esther Okpotum is still right here in the studio from Onelife Initiative for Human Development. Here comes my first caller. Esther, please still hold on to your thoughts. Hello, good evening. Oh, I lost that call. Please call back, and can I assure you I'll pick your call. Esther, why are girls not in school?
So, like I already identified, poverty and also child marriage. People in the north especially would rather send their children to men, and maybe for money, I don't know why exactly, but than send them to school to get an education. Also, we have people that that is still in relation to what I just talked about. You do not value education. Why would I send my girl child to school when I do not value education? They don't know the benefits of education, so they cannot value it, and so they cannot send their children to school. And then there's the reasons are exhaustive. You can never.
Let's get to know
all of them. And there's also bullying in schools, but I don't
bullying.
That really applies to all schools, because you during the course of the program we asked some of the participants that, do you think bullying is part of the reasons why we don't have girls in school? Some people were like, yes, in my school, but some were like, not really, maybe because they checked that already. They also have child labor. Parents would rather have their children go sell groundnut, go do this, than have them go to school. I remember I met a girl that was selling groundnuts. And she
sometimes you have people, parents tell their kids that you have to make money too for this house. You go to school. If you know you want to eat this night, go and hawk. How much money did you make? You see a parent or mother or father asking the child, how much have you made today? Okay, so these are realities, and it's a major challenge here. Yes, please, go ahead.
I was like, this is time for school. Why are you selling granola by this time? And she's like, okay. I was now like, do you go to school at all? She was like, she has never been to school. How old are you? She's 12 years. And you've never been to school.
Not even primary school.
She had never been to school. She said she had never been to school. She sells granules in UI. I see her once in a while, and I'm like, what can I do?
In UI?
In UI, she sells granules. And then I asked her her name. I was like, and she told me her name. I was like, do you want to go to school? She said yes. I was like, why are you not in school? And then she started crying. I really don't know what to do at that point, but it still goes back to value. If her parents valued education, I know that there are some parents that will go to any lengths to see their children go to school because they believe that they want their children to be better than they are. So valuing education is still, once you value something, you'll be able to hold on to it and do anything, go to any lengths to say that you attain whatever you value.
Brilliant. My phone lines are still open. I know there's a line that is really not too good, probably for weather reasons. 0815-1925 925 0815 192 5925. That's one line. The other line is 0812 102 4846. I noticed a couple of calls I've tried to come in, they kept dropping. Please try again. Do not give up. 0812 102 4846 can also get you into the studio. You mentioned something that I might not want you to gloss over, because in my days it was a big issue. Bullying, and I'm pretty sure it has not ended. This issue of school mother, school daughter,
true.
Senior senior that, and I know Elizabeth is. I can say Elizabeth is smiling. You have something to say about that? I hope you didn't bully somebody. Or someone bullied you. Yeah. Might be a moment of truth here. Okay, maybe we'll talk after the session and all that. It's a really big issue. Some kids would not go to school because they are afraid of what somebody in the senior class would do to them. It's a major issue. I remember my early days in secondary school. There was this bros that would he just takes pleasure in hitting me on the head. Yeah, he enjoys it. Any corner he sees me, he just hits me on the head. For God's sake, on the head. He enjoys it, And I was becoming hardy. I said, oh boy, if I become senior. It was gradually growing in me that, and unfortunately for some my younger people, I became the senior boy. So I had all the power. You understand? But of course I changed. I was not that bad. Yeah. But these are serious issues where you see elderly girls who will tell the younger students that if you don't come with your hairstyle, I will cut your hair in the open public. And she actually does it to someone, and you are like, she will cut my hair. I understand after God, the next thing women worship is their hair. After God, So can you say something about bullying? I just shared personal experiences here that I know is not just personal. I'm sure these are things that happens generally. Okay. What's your opinion here?
It just made me remember what happened in secondary school. I actually went to a boarding school too.
Okay. So, House of bullying. All right, let's take it.
Behind the, like, towards the wall so that seniors will not see us. They used to call it bullet. I went to a military secondary school.
Okay.
So if they sent you, they call it bullet. So we don't want seniors to bullet us. And then we would run beside the wall and sneak in so that they will not send us. And then I remember there was a time a senior called me and told me, get me Fanta, get me bread and gala. And I was waiting. She did not give me any money.
So you got to use it.
I'm supposed to go and get it and bring it to you without money. So actually, I can look at it from the point of bullying. I know there are people that left school, as in left my school and moved to another school because of bullying. So actually, it's a problem. But I don't think it's a problem enough for you to leave school entirely. Maybe like those people that had to leave my school and go to other schools. Parents could look at changing schools for their children when they feel that the schools are not comfortable enough for them.
Yeah. Now, what if in a case where there's no school to attend?
We are in Nigeria. There's a lot. We have a lot of schools.
You're talking about because we're in a metropolitan, city here, but there's a large city. How about places where the next 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer radius there is no school? There are places like that in your state, outside Ibadan. Yeah.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
I would like to say you don't necessarily have to be in the four walls of a school before you can learn.
Okay.
You can actually learn out of the four walls of school and then learn basic skills.
Okay.
Actually, right now, I think there would actually be a learned person in no matter how rural a place can be. So the person can actually just organize lessons just for maybe basic maths and English, just for the child to be able to relate to the society.
Brilliant. Yes, you want to say something?
Yes, I also read about a girl. I don't know how to pronounce her name correctly, but I think it's Maud Chifamba. So she didn't have the resources to go to school, but she educated herself at home. So imagine the discipline that would have come into educating herself at home. And eventually she got admitted into a university, I think in Zimbabwe. And then she graduated. She's doing well for herself. She's known in her country. So it's not, like she said, it's not necessarily about being in the four walls of a school. Discipline and putting your heart to, if you really love something, you put your heart to it. And if you put your heart to it, you achieve a lot.
Wow. Brilliant. Wow. Time is gone. Well, your final words. Let me just take your final words right here. We do not have much time. Don't forget, while we started today's show, we were able to talk with one of my guests right here, Elizabeth Oloyo, and she explained to us how our own UTME went each free, no problem, in a particular center in UI, right? And she explained that if you are there too, or you know someone who will be writing UTME, please encourage them that wherever they're going to be writing the exams, please arrive there early. Arrive there pretty early, if possible, an hour earlier, and ensure that you have a crash course on how to use the particular systems that you will be using. It's very, very important. It pays to be prepared. Okay? What I'm going to do right now is, of course, your final words. I'm going to start with Esther. Your final words.
Okay, I'd just like to say that, like we already stated here, education is very important, especially for a girl child. Do not expect your girl child to be in the kitchen or be carrying out chores while you think your male child will do better and then send him to
only. I think that should be the right word. The kitchen only. You know, they can be there. We're not saying they should not be there. Okay, they can be in the kitchen, but only. That should not be the only thing they should be doing. All right,
so we should spread the word. Tell everybody. People should be in school, gain basic skills, literacy skills, numeracy skills. Let people get to know what's happening. Information empowers you. Definitely. So with information, people can do better. Our economy can be better. A whole lot can happen in Nigeria just with the information we get through education. So please educate your girl child. Educate everybody, your children, basically.
Definitely, there should be no discrimination on gender. Everybody deserves to go to school. So beautiful talking to you, ladies. I mean, speaking good English. Means you had good teachers, you went to good schools. Someone chose to send you to school. My studio manager is also here. Wonderful lady, and doing great stuff here. She went to a good school. You know, these are wonderful things. Elizabeth, you want to say something before we go?
Okay, I'll say concerning educating the girl child. Like I said before, please don't keep quiet. Your neighbor's daughter may not be going to school, and your neighborhood and your children going to school. You might be saying, since my children are going to school, then fine. what about that neighbor's daughter? What about that girl that sells to your children when your children are going to school? So you can help someone.
What about those house helps? Please go ahead.
You
I'm just
can help
training.
someone. You cannot help everybody. Malala couldn't reach everybody, but she's at least taking an attempt. So you can actually help someone that can help someone. So the change can start from you. Try to be a part of someone's success. Be a part of someone. So one day you can even be able to say, if not for me, this and this, because I made an attempt, because I helped someone. She's in school now, she's a successful person now. So please speak up, help that your friend, even if it's not your own daughter, or if you don't even have anything to do with her.
Brilliant, Elizabeth. Thank you so much. Tamila Mojola, you have just 1 minute, 60 seconds. All right.
Okay. So I would like to say, since we all now know that education is a human right, everybody's meant to exercise their rights. And then one powerful point that I learned during this training is that since a woman can do a whole lot with the activities at home, running around for the home, taking care of her husband, then why not empower her with education so she can even do more with the education? So I would like us to act, to speak up for other people, and then to empower our girls to go.
Thank you so much, Tamila. We've had Tamila Mojola, Esther Okotum, and Elizabeth Olowo, all from Onelife Initiative for Human Development. Now I know why your boss decided to send me 3 ladies, because we're going to be talking seriously about the feminine gender today. You've been listening to Development Today, coming to you live from the stables of Impact Business Radio 92.5 FM, right here from Kolapo, Ishola Estate, Akubo, Ibadan. Do you run an NGO, a CSO? You need publicity projects for advert sponsorship? Please visit us here. Or you give me a call, 08161329633. Today's show was produced by my boss, Femi Mapadero. My studio manager has been awesome. Beatrice, big ups to you. Thank you so much. I am Oladayo Ogunbowale. Till next week when we meet, catch me up on Twitter. It's at MOG_Dayo. That's Twitter. On Instagram, it's at Dayo Bowale. Till next week for a fresh edition of the program. Participate, anticipate, celebrate.